We're back for episode 55. This is the Football Journals. I'm your host, Lee Stewart. Today joining me is somebody I was in touch with at the tail end of last year, but life gets in the way sometimes, Ian, and these things happen. You're a busy person, I'm a busy person, and we're now here. The other person on the other end of the line tonight is Ian Wilson, let me get this right, Aberdeen, Dundee, Elgin City, Leicester, Everton, Besiktas. Am I missing anyone else, Ian?
No, not really professionally. Maybe, I had a player coach job at Bury Football Club.
Okay.
And I was at Wigan Athletic for a year. And then I had a spell up at Peterhead. So yeah, I went full circle.
That's good, mate. It's good. With the podcast, Ian, I always start off and finish off on the same questions. So my first question is a bit of self-assessment, I suppose, is how good a football player were you as a kid, and what age did you realise you had a little bit of potential to play higher?
God, I was always a mad, keen football fanatic as far as at an early age, really. And like most youngsters, your dream was to become a footballer, and by watching all the fantastic players I was used to see in the telly. So from a very early age, from about 3 or 4, I wanted to play football, and that was all I was doing, and kicking a ball about the street, in the park, in the back garden, whatever.
Yeah.
But then when I went to primary school, maybe from about 9 or 10, got into school teams, and you're into the school select, and I knew then that that wasn't bad at it. So I stuck in it, and fortunately things turned out as my dream, my wish.
Were you always a midfielder, Ian?
Yes, a left-sided player. I'm a left-footed player predominantly. So, but really, I played most of the time in midfield. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've not actually touched on this. Sometimes I get an idea of maybe teams you support and things, but did you have a football idol growing up?
Oh, I mean, when I was young, going to see Aberdeen, I was a fanatic at Aberdeen as well. When I had time in between playing football matches myself, I used to play football in the morning for the school, play football in the afternoon for my boys' club, and then run along the street and get into the Pittodrie at half-time free, because the doors open for the fans going out. So I go in, and it was Joe Harper I used to watch. He was my idol, and I've become good friends with Joe now. So he's such a gentleman, but he was the one. Although Joe's a centre forward, and he was just a hero, and he is still now for so many Don supporters. But he was the one, really, I would think.
You got fond memories of watching a great Aberdeen team kind of growing up, Ian?
Oh yeah, I mean, I went to I went to the Scottish Cup final in 1967.
Okay, so we actually had Bobby Clark on a few months ago who spoke about the 67 final. Yeah, it's
I was in the crowd there as probably 67. I was 9 years old.
Okay.
9 years old, and then I followed it up. They got beat by Celtic that day 2-0 at Hampden Park with about 126,000 at the game.
That's crazy.
And then it was crazy. And then I went to see them in the cup final when they beat them in 1970.
Yeah.
When they beat them 3-1. So I went back there, and it was one of the best days of my life, really, seeing them lift the cup in 1970. So.
With kind of how busy you came through football later on in your career, and were you able to frequent Aberdeen and Pittodrie often throughout your career?
Did I go over? Sorry, say it again, Lee. Did I go?
Were you able to get to Pittodrie much throughout your playing career and things to watch them?
No. Once I was playing a bit more. My playing career, when I was playing as a youngster, up until about 14, 15, I used to try and go over as much as I could.
Yeah.
But once I become, a professional player after leaving school, I was playing every Saturday, so I never really seen Aberdeen much. Although, I joined Aberdeen when I was a youngster at 14 in an S form. So, and then I went and I joined full-time basis when I was 16 when I left school.
Yeah. Can you remember your first taste of adult football at any level, Ian?
Adult football. Well, I was about 13 or 14, and I played at under 16 level for my juvenile side. It was King Street A at that time.
Okay.
And the boys that were playing were 16, 17 at that time. So I was playing it well above myself at that stage. But that certainly gave you a bit of an insight. I thought I was good until I played against some of that boys at 16, 17. Then it brought me back down to earth fairly quickly.
It's a kind of a tough upbringing, that, isn't it, Ian? It's you're kind of getting used to playing. You're playing with children, and all of a sudden, it's a much more brutal, hardcore game.
Then when I signed for Aberdeen, and I turned professional at 16. At that time there was Aberdeen first team, and then there was the reserves. Now I was 16 and probably 9 stone dripping wet, and I was in the reserves or on the bench for the reserves at 16, which was, they kept you. Teddy Scott was there and he had me there, and at times they got games for the reserves, but. So when the matches were being played, if Rangers were playing Aberdeen at Pittodrie,
yep,
the full team, senior full side, the reserves used to go to Ibrox and play Rangers reserves at Ibrox. Same fixture, but opposite stadiums, but just the reserves at Ibrox if Rangers are at Pittodrie. So at 16, being, I think it was an adult, I was just out of school and I'm playing wide left that day in the midfield, and I'm playing up against John Gregg, who's coming back from injury.
Wow.
So it was a difficult start to my full-time professional career, because I think John Gregg had me in his back pocket by the first 5 minutes, and I never got out again until I went home on the bus.
That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So you kind of...
That's it. That was the thing, really, Lee. In terms of, we might be jumping and going like a wee bit here, but when I was Aberdeen and then I moved on to Dundee, and I had a similar situation with Dundee. I didn't really get an opportunity that I felt I deserved. I was doing not bad in the reserves.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'd maybe been loaned out to a team like a junior team like East End in Aberdeen, or a T Bankside or a Sunnybank or Lewis United, something like that, and you're playing against junior players, experienced guys, I feel I would have toughened up a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I went through that stage of being with Aberdeen and not really getting an opportunity, because really I was a bit inexperienced and a bit lightweight, and the same with Dundee. And it wasn't until I went to Elgin City that was the best move in my career.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I toughened up, I gained massive experience, I got a lot stronger, I had to look after myself, and I grew in confidence, and I was helped by seasoned professionals that are there at the time,
Absolutely.
And it was the best move I made.
Absolutely. Am I right in thinking, Ian, and forgive me if I'm wrong here, but you've got a bit of a brain, a business head on you. You actually completed some business studies whilst you were playing for Elgin as well. Is that true?
Yeah, but that's right. I was a full-time Aberdeen, so I think, well, that's my full-time job, and that was me. But really, when it wasn't going so well, I went back to college and I took a business studies degree at Aberdeen College of Commerce on Holborn Street in Aberdeen, which was, don't think it's any longer there, but so I did that, and so that stood me in good stead for when I set up my own business after my playing career finished.
Yeah, absolutely. With kind of the Elgin move, we've actually had a few guys in the studio previously on the podcast who've mentioned you in their 11. One of them was Chico McCarty. He involved you in his 11. Says Ian was a young player, a brilliant player at the time. Do you have any memories of any names that were in and around the Elgin squad around about that time?
Well, at the time I played, I was only there really for a short period of time. You know, I went in probably 77/78, and I went and signed for Leicester in 79. I probably had about a year and a bit at Elgin, but it certainly gave me a great start. Or I had a step back, if that is a step back, with all respect to Elgin. I love Elgin, but getting back and then going forward again, they give me a springboard to go forward. But I mean, I still keep in touch with a lot of the players.
Yeah.
And Chico is one that he was just coming through at the time when I was there, and he was just 150% mad Elgin, wanted to win everything they played.
Yeah.
And he was just a delight to see. You know, he was just full of enthusiasm, and it proves in the pudding. He turned out to be a great player.
Yeah.
And along with Fraser Kells, I spoke to Fraser just recently by text. He's just come back from holiday recently.
Yes.
So two great players, Fraser. I played with Fraser properly at Elgin. We were in a team together. And like Sir Billy Dingwall, there was Billy Douglas, of course. There was Mitch Babbage, Gordon Buchan, Keithy Nicol, Dave Lottie.
Yeah.
Midfield would have been even Dennis Bruce. I'm going back a long time. I'm going back an awful long time. Some of your older listeners might remember them, but some great players, and I learned so much from them.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had Frazee in the studio. Frazee's a character, we'll just say. A great guy though. A lot of time for Fraser. One of the things whilst you were at Elgin was you were part of the Scottish Cup run in 1977. Do you have any memories of? Obviously, we know people listening to the show know that eventually.
Part of the reason I was at Dundee. And I decided to go back to college to do my studies. And I was still at Dundee, but I was going to Dundee once or twice a week. But I was training with Elgin twice a week as well. And they got word and could sense that I wasn't very happy. So I went, and in the roundabout way, they made an approach to Dundee, and they managed to bring me into the Elgin squad, and I signed for Elgin, which was only probably about a month, not even a month, before the Rangers Scottish Cup tie, the Ibrox. I think I went up and I was ready to sign. I went up and watched a fantastic game Elgin played in against, I think the cup time before was still the Albion.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, they were fantastic. What a crowd, what an atmosphere that was. So, I mean, that sold it to me right away. so I mean, yeah, God, I remember we went down and we stayed overnight. We stopped in Stirling. And I can't remember, I think it was Dennis Bruce. It might have been Ken McKen.
Aye, yeah.
They went in to pick something up in town in the morning of the match before we played Rangers at Ibrox. And they had a bit of a, they borrowed the one of the staff members at the hotel's car to go into town. And they ended up having an accident with it. They crashed the car.
No.
It was unbelievable. Just, 3 hours before the kickoff, and we had to deal with all that. But it was great. I mean, playing against good players, John Gregg and Alan McDonald and Tommy McLean.
Yeah.
all that type of players. I was on the bench that day, but gladly I got into the team fairly soon after that, and the rest is history, as they say. It was great.
Absolutely. You're also involved in a North of Scotland select against a Buckie Thistle champions team, is that right?
That's right now. Now, Ennis McDonald.
Yes,
Ennis McDonald, yeah. Well, he was a fantastic man. He was so good to me. Was very encouraging. Good coach, studious man, lovely man. Yeah, and we actually played in Highland select. Apart from Buckie Thistle, I think it was it the opening of the stadium or something?
Opening of the floodlights, yeah.
And then we played against Scotland 11 at Inverness Thistle Park.
Wow.
Kingsmill, yeah. Yeah, we played against them. And there was a lot of good players up that time as well, you know.
Brilliant.
So that was a nice experience as well.
Absolutely brilliant. So my next two questions, Ian, it's my favourite questions because I've had such a broad range of answers in the past 54 episodes of this. You've obviously played at quite a high level in your career. Could you tell me the best player you played with in your career?
Oh, I mean, there's a number of players I played with that I thought were terrific. I mean, there's a guy called Jerry Daly. It's not a joke. He's not a newspaper. Yeah. He was an Irish international, came from Man United and joined us at Leicester City. He was a fantastic midfield player, getting forward, getting on the end of things, scoring the odd goal, experienced, always wanted the ball. But, I was lucky enough with time at Leicester to play along with Gary Lineker,
wow.
who, for obvious reasons, was one of the best players I played with for scoring goals, doing so well for, club and country. Went on to Everton, which I followed him actually, and then he went to Barcelona. I didn't follow him to Barcelona, but he went on. He went on to Grand Besiktas, which I was coaching out there. So, and then one of my best pals, Alan Smith,
yeah,
who used to play with us at Leicester, along with Gary up front, and it was Gary McAllister, who I played midfield with. So there was Smith and Lineker up front, and me and McAllister in midfield. It wasn't a bad quartet, really.
Not at all. Wow.
And Alan, they've all done well. Gary's went on to work in management and was assistant to Stevie Gerrard at Rangers and Villa. In fact, I just had dinner with them all about a month ago for an award that Gary was getting in London. So I caught up with them all. So we're planning to get together early in the new year for a bit of a lunch. So, I mean, I paid the last one, so I'm not paying the next one. So I'll be sure to get on to that one. And, I'll be choosing the best wine for that one. I hope it's Mr. Lineker or Mr. Smith will pay for that one.
Brilliant.
But I mean, 3 or 4 of that type of players have been brilliant. I mean, and I suppose players, if you turn that in your head, the players that played against,
yes.
I mean, the toughest players, or the best players I played with. I mean, Graham Souness could be one of the best players I played against. Kenny Dalglish I played against numerous times when they were both at Liverpool. Mm-hmm. I actually played against Eric Cantona and didn't even know I was playing against him.
Wow.
I'd be international when I was playing for Scotland and he was playing for France. It wasn't until I looked to the programme about 6 months or 2 or 3 years afterwards that I was playing directly against Eric Cantona at Pittodrie.
It's a little bit surreal, isn't it?
Yeah. He was just obviously breaking into the squad at that time, and he wasn't as famous as he was in the years to follow. But some good players, some great players I played against and with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be very lucky.
Brilliant. So I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit. Just when you mentioned Souness and Dalglish, I'm right in thinking that Liverpool hadn't been beaten at home in almost 90 games, I think, Ian. And when you played for Leicester, you actually managed to beat them twice that season and end that run.
Yeah, God. That would have been 1981, I think. 1981, I would think. Yeah, we got promotion. We won the which is now the championship, was the old second division, but we won the championship, got into the Premier League type thing, or the first division at that time, and we're all sitting waiting, and the draws, your fixtures are coming out for the rest of the season, so we're sitting waiting, and out it comes first game, Liverpool at home. Oh, fantastic! you know. So I mean, we're unbelievably looking forward to it, but we're not expecting to get anything out of the game. We went and beat them 2-0. The first game of the season.
Wow.
So the second game, we're going up to Anfield, obviously, and as you can imagine, first game of the season, it was early January. January, we were going to Liverpool, and there's Souness, there's Dalglish, there's Phil Thompson, Paul, Emily Hughes,
Wow.
Phil
Yeah.
Neal, all them playing, Jimmy Case, all playing, and they've got a corner. So we're all back in trying to defend this corner. Even Alan Young, who was centre forward for us at the time, he's back in helping us out. So corner comes in, and Alan goes up to clear it, and he heads it the wrong way, straight in back of the goal, on goal. So we've scored the goal for Liverpool to start with. So we've given them they need a start, but we've given them one on goal. So it's 1-0 Liverpool. And then we go and carry on playing, and the game goes on. We'll end up, Pat Byrne scored, and then for us, Pat Byrne, who was a player at Leicester, was us, went on to play for Hearts. And then a guy called Jimmy Melrose, who played for Motherwell, maybe Partick Thistle, came down to Leicester, and we ended up winning 2-0, 2-1. So that was the first time in probably, as you say, 90 games. So it was probably about 3 to 4 years.
Yeah. Wow.
And
That's
with
huge. That is
and
absolutely huge.
it's even going there to beat them at that time when they had been into Europe and done all that in Europe. But to do the double over them in the one season, beat them at home in the first game and then go up to Anfield and beat them at Anfield and beat them when they hadn't been beaten there for about 90 games, which was which was about three and a half years. And as soon as they're all looking around each other, can't believe what's happened to them. They couldn't believe what's going on. At Leicester City, we likely could have been relegated, and we were going up and beat them 2-1.
Yeah.
And 2-0 the first game. So that was a pleasing time. They always think of Leicester City, Liverpool did, during that period when I was there, that Leicester were Liverpool's bogey team.
Right. Okay.
So they were a bit jittery when we played them. We always, most recently is a bit different, whatever. But during the time I was there, between 80 and 88 or something, we had always a good battle with Liverpool, and they didn't like playing us.
No. Absolutely a bogey team.
So
sure. I'm right in thinking you signed for Leicester from Elgin. Can you remember the fee?
Yeah, I remember the fee. Yeah, I remember the fee. I mean, I remember Archie Knox at Forfar. No, that was Elgin. I think Forfar were playing in the old second division at that time in Scotland, and I turned Forfar down for some reason, and I can't explain why. But I didn't feel it was such a massive step up from Elgin. But a couple of weeks later, I'm playing I'm playing for Elgin midweek against Huntley, and unfortunately, or luckily enough, I scored the only goal of the game, so we beat them 1-0. So then we are playing on a Saturday. We've gone to Inverness Thistle, and we're playing against Inverness Thistle, and it's a pretty drab game. Not much happening. I think finished 0-0. And to say that I was like non-existent was an understatement.
Yeah.
Anyway, right after the game, one or two of the committee came to me and said, "There's a gentleman here from Leicester City who wants to speak to you. We've agreed a fee, and he wants to meet you in a hotel." And I met him. He said, "Look, why don't you come to Leicester?" And as it happens, I said, I've got a birthday party Monday night. I had a birthday party in Aberdeen. I said, I can't go. I've got my girlfriend, who's now my wife, that many years ago, we had a joint 21st birthday party, so we couldn't cancel it. And he says, that's not a problem. I'll just hang on and I'll come to the party if you don't mind. I said, of course you will. Come to the party. He said, right, okay, but you promised me Tuesday morning you come with me to Leicester. So I had about from Saturday, notwithstanding the birthday party organisation, planned my trip. I'm leaving and saying bye-bye to my mum and dad. I was just 20 at the time. And I believe the fee was in the region of £30,000 at that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, it was a huge amount of money. When you think back, I mean, I'm not sure if there's any of that money going about it. You know, Highland League clubs at that time would receive that sort of money for a transfer of players now, you know. Clubs just wouldn't pay it. I mean, 30,000 was a lot of money at that time. I mean, I think Elgin City built the hospitality extension with that amount of money.
And I think
they should be calling that the Evils and Hospitality.
That's brilliant. I think I wouldn't like to put a bet on it, but £30,000 would still probably be roughly close to the region of Elgin's highest ever transfer fee still to this day.
No, I think it is. I still say that to my boys, pals in the pub who come in from the Highland League and I chat to from time to time. So I tease them, you know, and somebody's gone for 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. This is in 2025. This is in 1977. I went for 30,000.
Yeah.
God, when I think back, I mean, Elgin could not say no.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Gee whiz, it was just. I was pleased, you know, and I think I might have got a little fiver from Tom Gordon, the late Tom Gordon. Here's a fiver. Look after yourself. So I didn't get a great deal of backhander for them for going, but anyway, they look after me when I go up and see them from time to time, and I'm always made welcome when I go back and see them.
Absolutely. You've still got there's still a picture of you hanging up in the boardroom, Ian, a Scotland top as well.
Yes, well, and I think that was my first cap for Scotland, and I gave it to Elgin City because that's really how much I felt about the club, and how much, you know, if I go back, I made my debut for Scotland when I was maybe 29, 30. If it was like 10, 12 years back, I was playing for Elgin. I still look and think at that period in Elgin stood me in fantastic stead for where I eventually turned up and achieved what I achieved in my career. And I thought that was only fitting. I should give it Elgin. And I'm so honoured that they've got it in the boardroom. So I do speak to a lot of people who've gone up to play Elgin, and the committee members or the board members of different teams, and said, "Oh, I saw your photo, your jersey in the boardroom. That's great, you know." So that's great, and still got around, and I'm pleased that they'll still remember it.
Absolutely,
So nice.
Absolutely. It's pride of place in that boardroom.
This episode of the Football Journals is brought to you by Elgin City Football Club Director and Elgin City Women FC Director Chris Foot. Along with helping Lee keep the podcast going, Chris also works relentlessly as a director of Elgin City and the women's side, tackling various tasks and roles. You can follow all things Elgin City on various social media platforms to keep up with both teams' journeys this season. You can also check out episode 37 of the Football Journals, where Lee spoke to Chris about his life as a director, the progress of Elgin City, and his love for Manchester City. But, you know, in my opinion, you can just skip over to that last part, if you know what I mean. But, in all seriousness, thanks once again, Chris, for your continued support, helping us keep the lights on here at the studio and making bi-weekly releases of the Football Journals podcast possible.
So you mentioned it briefly before. You won the second division, Ian. It's quite an achievement considering how competitive the English league was at the time.
Yeah, it was very competitive, very competitive. That was under Big Jock Wallace.
Yes, aye, of course.
Aye, yeah, Big Jock Wallace. And we won it down at Leighton Orient in London on a Monday night. It depended on the results elsewhere the following Saturday, but you know it looked like we'd done it on a Monday night, and it worked out well the following Saturday, and we had a great party that night, that's for sure. I'm just looking at my medal there; it's still up in my shelf now.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
One of the lasting memories, I've kind of done a good bit of research on you, and one of the things the Leicester fans always bring up, and it seems to be that their lasting memory is Fulham away 1983. Can you talk us through what happened?
Well, I thought you was waiting to say the own goal you scored against Tottenham Hotspur in
No.
the semi-final.
No.
You're being very polite, because every Leicester fan I see, excuse me.
No, you're okay.
I never forget that own goal you scored in the semi-final of the Cup at Villa Park. And to be fair, it was a cracking own goal.
Yes, it is.
I mean, anybody would have been absolutely delighted with it. And I keep chipping Mark Wallington, who was the goalie that time, and Mark and I got on quite well. But I keep saying it was the first time he's came off. He's like, because I chipped him, and from 18 yards, I'll try to pass it back and take the sting off. It was Tony Galva went down the left hand side. He's crossed it, and it's gone behind. It was Garth Cooks that was going into the near post. It's gone behind him, and I'm coming back from midfield, and I'm just coming to the edge of the box. I'm just trying to take the sting off it, knock it back to Mark Wallington, and it's just gone up a bit and gone over him. But he's come out of his box. He's about 8-10 yards out of his box. So I keep chipping him since the first time he's come off his line in about 10 years. But it's nice to, if I look back, the probably the most important goal was the one at Fulham. That, I mean, we went on the run then with Gordon Mills, the manager at the time. We went on the run, and we must have went undefeated from February, played about 10 games undefeated, and we're going to Fulham, and we're about 3, 4, maybe 4 or 5 points behind Fulham. And Malcolm McDonald was the manager then, Newcastle centre forward.
Yes, aye.
And he was talking the team up, and there's only one team going to win it, and we play all the football, this and that. And I'm looking at his quotes in the paper, go down in the team bus on Saturday morning. So it was it just fired everybody up. We didn't need any more motivation, and we just needed to listen to or read his quotes on the way down to the game. And it was a good match. We played really well, and we must have brought about 10,000 that day, maybe 12,000 fans. Yeah. And I was lucky enough to score a goal. So it was a fantastic day. Brilliant. That was one of the most memorable goal, I would think it was. The best goal was chipping Mark Wallington. That was in the wrong end of the pitch. Anyway,
that's brilliant.
Nobody lets me forget that when I turn up or bump into a Leicester City fan.
That's top quality.
Yeah.
You had, I think, eight years at the club. Of that, am I right in thinking, Ian?
Yeah, I signed in 79. I signed for Everton in 87.
Yeah.
87. That situation there, Lee, I was just, I mean, I was very proud to play for Scotland, and I played Scotland, whatever, against Brazil, against England, against Belgium, against Bulgaria, France. So I was 5 or 6 caps, and I was lucky to get in the squad because the players before me were just becoming the end of their career. It was like Souness, and it was like Kenny come out of it, maybe a bit Alan Hansen would have come out of it, all that type of players. So they were trying to bring in new players, and I was lucky enough to get in the squad. So that was a nice lift, for everyone, especially my family getting into it, and so.
You end up becoming captain of Leicester as well, Ian.
I was captain, so I was getting back. I was Leicester about 8 years, and then it was I was coming back from the Scotland spell I had, and Andy Roxby was the manager, and he said to me, "If you want to really, but Leicester just got relegated, and it said if you want to still be in the frame of the Scotland squad, you need to be playing at top level, being the First Division or the Premier League." So I spoke to my manager at Leicester, Gordon Milne, and I felt that it might be better if I got a move. So I turned down a move to Luton Town, which was an exchange move with Mike Newell was coming the other way, and I was going to Luton. But I wasn't really all that keen because the manager at the time was wanting to play me left back, and it was AstroTurf, which I wasn't really keen on. So I turned that down, and then I waited a couple of weeks, and then out of the blue, I was playing against Plymouth at Filbert Street. And then after the game, the manager shouted me to his offices and just said, "There, that phone's going to ring in 5 minutes. And it's Howard Kendall and Colin Harvey want you to sign for Everton. And we've agreed a fee." So that was taking me up to I was 79 to 87, so I was about 8 years. And I had a good spell as captain, probably had 3 or 4 years as captain as well at Leicester. So that was it. I enjoyed that responsibility.
Absolutely. A fee of £300,000 to take you to Everton.
£300,000,
yeah. That's it. Yeah. Considering the time, it's a lot of money.
It's the same at Elgin with a couple of zeros.
Yep. That's a great way of looking at it. So, did you feel, obviously, you're coming into an Everton team who are doing very well at the time, Ian, competing in Europe every season and competing at the top ends of the league. Did you feel a bit of pressure coming into that, or did you think it was the right move?
I did feel a lot of pressure. Everton had just won the championship, so they were champions. So the champions of the England came in for me, and I went there for £300,000. I was going to a team that were full from goalie right through this team to sometimes the French players, full of internationals.
Yeah.
There was Neville Southall.
Yeah. Guys like Kevin Sheedy and things.
Kevin Sheedy. There was Gary Stevens. There was Dave Watson. There was Kevin Ratcliffe. There was Peter Reid. There was Paul Bracewell, Kevin Sheedy, Trevor Stevens, Graham Sharp, Adrian Heath, Pat Van Howe, all playing for Wales, England, Ireland, or Scotland.
Yeah.
And really, Kevin Sheedy was injured at the time, and Kevin was a left footer like me, and he was going to be out. He was out for a while. So being champions, they come in for, they think, the next best left-footed player, which they said to me, and they thought I was the one to fit the bill. But I knew that it was going to be a battle to get into the team on a regular basis. And Kevin was fit, and all the other players of international ability were about. And it was quite a lot of pressure playing, because it's like Celtic in their own country, or it's like, Liverpool or Arsenal in England.
Yeah.
Every game, bar none, you've got to win. You've got to win. And that's the pressure.
Yeah.
It's a good sort of pressure, but, you certainly felt the pressure, and it was a battle to win every game.
Absolutely.
If you dropped a couple of points, it was like the end of the world.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever have
And all the fans expected that as well,
It's a big expectations, a little bit of a goldfish bowl, Liverpool. It's a bit like Glasgow in that sense that, the pressure's on to win every week, especially at that time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the fanatic, absolutely fanatic. And Everton were the better team at that time.
Yeah. Did you ever have an opportunity in your career to return to Scotland playing professionally, Ian? Was there any offers that came in?
There might have been, but when I was what I did really when I was at Everton, my manager at Leicester, who made me captain, Gordon Milne, who is I'm good friends with now, phoned me up one day, and I'm with the Scotland squad, and I'm lying on top of my bed at Gleneagles having a rest. And he phoned me up and just asked me, do you fancy coming to play Turkey? And he told me what it was about. And I knew him, and I liked his training methods. I liked his personality, and I liked his style of coaching. And I says, yeah. And I was really a little bit on the fringe at Everton at the time. I was in and out of the team, and that was the year 89. We went 89 and got to the cup final. And that was my last game for Everton, was the FA Cup final, although I was on the bench, but I did go on and that was against Liverpool on the Hillsborough year.
Yes, of course.
That was 1989 Hillsborough. And I wasn't sure they weren't sure if that game was going to go ahead. But, both clubs decided, it would be better for the people of Liverpool that would play the game. But there was always going to be one winner. And, with Liverpool and all the fans and all the people who were all the press and that were really all for Liverpool for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And I fully understood that. But so after that, we went, and then I went to Turkey. So I was over there for a couple of years and played out there, which was an experience in itself. Totally different. Again, Besiktas, a team at Besiktas in Turkey, in Istanbul. It was, talking about pressure. Well, Everton was pressure, but Turkey was absolutely manic.
Yep, we've seen that on the TV previously. The fans are so passionate over there; it's unbelievable.
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 But great experience, and then I went on to coach out there for different teams. So
right.
Yeah. And to the point now that Tracy and I, my wife, we go back to Turkey every other year, and Istanbul would go there and drop the hat to have a holiday. It's a fantastic place.
Yeah.
So, and the stadium is absolutely beautiful.
So we've touched a little bit on it. Am I right in thinking your first two games for Scotland was England and Brazil, Ian?
I know. Well, everybody says, what games did you play for? Which teams did you play against for when you played for Scotland? And if you wanted to pick two teams
yes.
you wanted to play against, and I don't know if it's for the right reasons, but certainly Brazil. But it was England, and my first game, the first cap for Scotland was England at Hampden, and then we played Brazil at Hampden.
Yeah.
Now we didn't come out very well at the Rouse Cup in that one, but I think we drew with England and we got beat by Brazil. I think that's a photo up there.
Wow. Okay. Who's in the photo with you there, Ian? Which player's in the photo with you there?
I don't know. I think it's a guy called Douglas.
Douglas.
Would you believe?
Okay.
And I swapped shirts with him.
Brilliant.
I don't know whether I've won the ball there or him, but it certainly looks like he's a bit more comfortable than I
am. Do you have any kind of stick out memories for playing for Scotland? Just obviously, you coming from such a good career in England and things like that. Did you feel it was right that you'd made it into the Scotland squad? Do you think you'd earned your place because you'd been in top sides in England and playing in the first division for years, and you finally got your opportunity.
And the way it happened actually was the Scotland coaching staff, Andy and Craig was his assistant, Craig Brown. Craig, they had a goalkeeping coach as well. They took on a goalkeeping coach to take the goalies for training, called Alan Hodgkinson.
Yes.
Now Alan came to Leicester and coached at Leicester three times a week and took the goalies as well. So then he did Leicester 3 times a week, and then when international matches, he went off and worked with Scotland. So Alan's working with me quite a lot, and he's coming to a lot of the games, the Leicester matches. And he must have got talking, I know he did, he got talking to Andy Roxburgh, Craig Brown, and looking for a midfield player, we need to get somebody else. And Hodgie said, you better go and take a look at Ian Wilson. And I'm saying that Hodgie's words. He's playing his skin for Leicester. So Andy and Craig came down to watch me against Liverpool at Anfield. And they went away very happily and said, we're going to go for him. And that's when they pulled me into the squad.
Yeah.
So it was... and so I've got a lot to thank Alan Hodgkinson for, and it was it was great to be able to get called up. And I felt that maybe I might have got a chance before, but remember, I'm trying to compete with Graham Souness, and Gordon Strachan, maybe people like that,
Mm-hmm.
God, Kevin Dalglish and all that, Willie Miller, McLeish, all that squad players, but then eventually got into the team and all that. Apart from, the players I played with in Scotland would have been Jim Layton or Andy Gorham would have been the goalies, and Malpass maybe, Maurice Malpass,
aye.
David Neary maybe, and then a big Alec McLeish and Willie Miller, maybe Neil Simpson, Paul McStay, Pat Nevin, Alan McCoy, Charlie Nicholas, Frank McAvenny, late Davy Cooper, bless him. All that type of players, great. It was a great experience. And when you look at that, all names that I've always looked up to and I've always watched on the telly, and I never thought I'd ever get a chance of going playing along with them.
No.
But so I was lucky for it being a short spell, but I mean, that was tremendous memory. And, I've got a big photograph somewhere. It's near in my office here, but I'm lined up with all that players at Hampden Park for when they're playing, Flower of Scotland.
Absolutely.
So that is, that was emotional.
I can guarantee, mate. I get emotional watching it on the telly. I can't imagine how you're feeling standing on the pitch,
That's the fact, yeah. The fact. Yeah. So and I mean, there would have been 90,000 fans there at Hampden at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Proper days of the proper Tartan Army back then, and yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
So kind of just towards the end of your career, you went into management, Ian. And
Yeah, I went in management. God,
Was it always in
and
the
I
back
came
in your
back.
mind? Was it always in the back of your mind to go move into coaching and management?
Yeah. Well, I went and did all my coaching licenses doing in England at Lillyshaw.
Yep.
So I was always keen to get into to the coaching side of the game. Uh, I wasn't sure whether I was straight into management, but I went as a player first and commercial manager with Peterhead, and then the job came up, and I was player manager, and then it was Peterhead was a good club for me. Um, a lot of good people at Peterhead. Colin Grant was the main man that took me there. And Colin was an ex-player himself, and he knew what he was doing, and he was the chairman of the club at the time. So, I mean, I had 2 or 3 spells at Peterhead, and I went back to Peterhead, and we eventually got into the league.
Mm-hmm.
And we did well first couple of seasons, and the third season we lost out in the last game of the season to get promotion, and then it wasn't long after that I got sacked.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
My wife just informing me that Aberdeen's got beat 4-0.
Nay, great.
Yeah.
Not great at all.
No.
One of the name.
But that was it. Then I went abroad to coach.
Yes, that's right.
I went back to coach. So I left Peterhead and went back to well, I left Peterhead and went to Grampus. I went to Japan. And who do you think's playing there? Gary Lineker.
Yes.
Gary is a player. So he said to me when I turned up, "Not you again." Because I went from Leicester to Everton, and then I went Everton to Grampus, see them. So it was I kept following him. He keeps saying, "You keep following me around." So then, but Grampus was a different experience totally from Turkey.
Aye.
Different experience.
Different way of
And
life.
people are so polite, so nice.
Yeah.
In Turkey, sometimes if you're injured, they say, "Well, why am I not getting paid this week?" Well, why we're paying you? You're injured.
Okay. Right.
That was their idea. Why we're not paying you? You're injured. You're no good to us. But in Japan, if your wages didn't go in at 12 o'clock and it was 10 minutes late, they'd be on the phone apologising.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a different style.
Absolutely.
Different style, but both good experiences.
One of the names that always gets brought up on the football journals, we do a lot of Highland League based stuff. Am I right in thinking, Ian, that you signed an Ian Stewart for Peterhead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ian Stewart. Yeah, Ian. Yeah. Ian took over from me as manager when I got sacked. But I signed Ian. Well, I signed Ian from Inverness Cali.
Yes.
He was a fantastic little player. I mean, he's just a little goal scorer.
Aye.
And he would, he'll get a goal out of. There's no way he's not going to score that. He's no way he'll score that. And he's managed to get his toe to it, and it's trickled into back stick. And you won the game 1-0, and that's why I signed him. He was a great player. Well, there's a lot of good players at Peterhead at the time. I signed a lot of players, good players, and we were very unlucky not to get the promotion that I felt we deserved, but it wasn't to be. But so, you only get a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
I got more than 39 days than Angie Nottingham Forest.
Ridiculous decision, that one.
Although, he might get a better severance being I did.
That's very true.
They'll probably give me 30 quid in a fish supper.
So kind of, we touched on your business studies earlier on, Ian. You took that and eventually opened up your own soccer coaching.
Yeah. I fell into that just by chance, really. I was working at a little sports centre in Aberdeen, and the idea was to help try and develop youngsters school age, i.e., 5, 6, and 7, and try and encourage them to come and play. And we took them on a Tuesday and a Thursday evening after school, up 3, 4 o'clock. And I think I started with four kids coming in, and then it went to 6, and it grew up to 8. And before I know it, I've got about maybe 18 kids, 20 kids, and have to get another coach in, split it up. And then it just moved on from there, really. And Ian Wilson sort of coaching, that was 26 years ago.
Wow.
And it's still doing football camps this week for the holidays.
Yes. Yeah. Still.
Yeah. So we did something right, but you know, I'm out of that side of it now, and I wish I wasn't. I miss it greatly, but yeah, I had to get out of that because of different. I had different situations. I had a couple of serious illnesses that
Of course.
curtailed my coaching.
Yeah.
So I had to pull out of that. But so I was at a Cove dinner one Friday night. I want to bore you with this too long, but to cut a long story short, I'm sitting having dinner and I'm coaching the Saturday morning, and I'm coaching at Inverdee, the goals. So I'm on mineral water because I'm driving because I'm working next morning. And I've got this and I, hadn't been a meal, having a laugh with the boys over at the table, and I took this most horrendous headache to the point I had to leave and go home. And that I was at the Marcliffe, and I got home to my house in Cults, and it's literally 2 minutes by car. And I was foolish enough to drive, but I felt like I had to get home. Anyway, that's as much as I remember, and I ended up with a brain hemorrhage.
Yeah.
So I was lucky. So, and then 6 weeks after that to the day, I took a stroke.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the hemorrhage caused the stroke by the looks of it. So I'm a wee bit weak in one side, so I can't get over the hurdles as quick as I used to. So I passed it on to somebody else who could do it a bit quicker. It's probably better. A change is better than a rest anyway.
So they say.
So that was a setback for me, because I probably would still want to get involved now. But I passed it on to other guys that used to coach there, and they're doing it. And I've got no say. It's their business now. So, but they still keep the name and run it as Eagles and sort of coaching. And it's been running now for 26 years.
Yeah.
Although I was part of it for about 22, 23 years.
Yeah. And
but it's very popular.
And you've also got soccer coaching out in Turkey, is that right?
Well, we did initially do it, but that never developed as much as I felt it should.
Yeah.
Now, there's different, probably a bit of politics involved there, because if I'm going there to run a soccer school, the Turks' mentality would have been, well, why is, they would call it a yabancı, which is, why is a foreigner coming in to run a soccer school when we've got good enough coaches here to run a soccer school?
Right.
And I can totally understand that.
Yeah.
I can see that totally. But I thought, well, a bit of our name might help. I was at one of the top clubs in Turkey. But there was a lot of red tape and a lot of problems getting permission, getting the facilities, getting the help through the schools and other coaches and blah, blah, blah. So that really didn't develop as I would like to have done. But it would have been, I think it would have been a success.
Yeah.
But it didn't move much further forward than when I was involved in it initially.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it would have been very good, because there's not a lot at that time. When I looked at it, there wasn't a great deal. There wasn't a great deal of opportunities for young kids in Turkey. I mean, they're just playing on a muddy bit of ground and stones for goals.
Yes. Aye.
Yeah, so we'll just try to see if we'd lift it a little bit, but it was a bit more difficult with the politics to get started in the first place. So, there you go.
Before we get into our last couple of questions, Ian, I'm just going to do a little bit for my viewers just now. If you're enjoying listening to us and you want to give us a wee follow on social media, we're on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Apple. Give us a wee rating. We're going to be putting out feelers over the next few weeks for sponsorship for 2026. So if any local companies want to get in touch with me, please give me a shout. Also give us, have I just said give us a rating? I think I've just said give us a rating, but I'll say it again. Please give us another rating because it does help other people find the podcast. We come out every second Monday, and we have done for the last 2.5 years, and will continue to do so as long as there's people in football to chat to. Obviously we're mostly Highland League based, but we're starting to branch out a little bit recently, and we've got some different kind of guests coming up soon. So give us a wee follow. Thank you very much. Right, Ian, my last two questions. For such a great career, you played for Scotland, you've captained Leicester, you played for Everton, you played for Elgin, you've done so much, your soccer schools. Do you have a proudest achievement in your career, the thing that you're most proud of?
Sorry, say it again, that you broke up last night.
Sorry, throughout your whole career, you've done so much. Do you have one thing that you're proudest of throughout your career?
Well, I mean, I was very proud to play for Leicester City and be captain. And there was I took a lot of pride in trying to help the players, the younger players that come in, and the young players that come in, like say Gary McAllister and helping him, and Ali Mocklin helping him, Kevin McDonald who came down helping him if I could. But then, I think ultimately being capped for your country at full international level, if it's one or if it's 100, it's the first one, and every other one you could get must be the proudest, to pull on that shirt.
Yep.
And I mean, to think of the amount of players or kids who would love to be in your shoes.
That's true.
You've got to remember that, how lucky you were, and pinch yourself and think, well, you've gone right to the top of your profession. When I was playing at that time, albeit only for 5 or 6 caps, it wasn't 105 caps, but it was, it was something that you had to be chosen by somebody, and to be chosen for one of the 11 players to represent your country at any time is certainly an accolade that I was very proud of. Absolutely,
that's a great answer. I think it's the pinnacle of most players' careers, playing for their country. You're the elite of that country, and you've got to take that with pride. Absolutely. Well, as I say, before we get into the last question, thank you very much for your time tonight, Ian. It's been great to look back, and it's been fantastic to share some of those memories with you. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Yeah. Lovely. My podcast. So you get to the games at Elgin? So I'm actually the Elgin City ladies manager. So. Oh wow. I'm the manager of the ladies team. I'm currently going through my own coaching journey. I'm away to finish off my C licence myself. I'm trying to push myself forward in football. I was never a player myself, Ian. I'm kind of come into coaching quite late. I'm in my mid-30s just now, but I'm determined to kind of make a go of things in football. You're getting on a bit. Yes. You better get that one quick. But yeah, I was up at Elgin. I was up with Gordon Buchan and Duncan Davidson, Dougie Davidson, probably names that you might not remember, but you'll know if you look back at the history of some of these guys, Keithy Nicol, Dave Lottie. And the facilities up at Elgin now, the coaching side and all the bits around Borough Briggs, it's fantastic. Yes. Yeah, it really is. Brilliant. You've got a great platform to go and coach and use your coaching skills to
teach the girls whatever tactics and formations you want, which is brilliant.
Absolutely. Probably paid for your with your transfer fee, Ian.
Well, I might get a corner flag named after me yet.
I'll put a good word in for you if I can, my man.
Put a word in. At least a corner flag. You know,
Aye.
remember Bury Briggs, that coffee shop across the other side of the pitch where they used to sell pies, remember?
Yeah.
It was just opposite side of the dugout and up a bit near the corner flag. I remember when I was playing there, and it used to be open, and all the boys who played up, like Fraser, got up and down the right hand side, and he was always wanting to try. He's putting an order in for his pie when he went clean past some left back and cut across and put the ball into the box for somebody. He said, "That's me just putting my order in."
Oh, brilliant. So my last
times.
Absolutely, yeah, great club, lovely club to bits. It's
I love it. I love Elgin to bits.
It's
I love Elgin. I must try and get up again in the spring before the end of the season, if I can. And we'll probably have a bit of lunch and see the people that we know most.
Yeah,
and we always get well looked after. It's Brian Essen as well.
Yes,
Brian. You know Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we normally work it through him. So he makes us sure we've got the right things in place.
Brilliant.
So I'll be on the phone to him. We'll get up, and if I'm up there, come and say hello.
I will do. Absolutely, Ian. Absolutely.
Right, okay.
So my final question's always the same on the podcast, Ian. It's a bit of a left field question, but I do like the question. If a penalty needs scored to save your life, Ian, and anyone in the history of football can take your penalty for you, who takes your penalty?
Right. Well, it wouldn't be my wife, that's for sure.
Getting blazed over.
Because I would think she would try and chip over the goalie. I mean, I'll tell you who I would think. I think Eric Cantona.
Brilliant. We've not had him before, I don't think. No, that's...
I think he'd be the one.
Yeah.
And I think he would let the keeper dive to one side or the other and would chip it right through the middle. just to make me sweat even more.
That's brilliant, Ian. Okay, top man, thank you very much for your time tonight, and I'll hopefully catch up with you soon, pal. Okay.
Yeah. Regards to everybody at Elgin.
I'll pass on it on, mate. Thank you very much. Take care now.
Okay.
The Football Journals is now on Patreon. If you sign up on Patreon for just £5 a month, you can get access to our upcoming guests and the chance to ask your own questions, the ability to watch our podcast with full video exclusive, audio only on all other platforms. You can get your episodes earlier than anyone else, sometimes a few days, sometimes a week. You will get your episodes earlier than everyone else. Chance to request guests of your choice. We will do our utmost to get them on the show, if obviously within reason. I can't go asking Cristiano Ronaldo on the show. And one bonus episode per month. There's already a bonus episode on there. You'll get a further bonus episode every month. Sign up today at patreon.com/footballjournals, capital F, capital J. That's sign up today at patreon.com/footballjournals, capital F, capital J.